All right, lads. Welcome back to another trade recap. As you can tell by the title, it is another break-even day. It was very, very, very unfortunate. I think my mindset on the market today was great, even though it was in hard conditions, and I really want to give myself props for that. I'm gonna journal what I did strongly today. Um, but the main thing on what happened today was it was just so unfortunate. I will show you guys screenshots and everything of like all the proof and why today was so tilting. So without further ado, let's get into the trade recap. All right, lads, getting into the recap for the day, this is what I was looking at. So right away on the 15-minute time frame, you can see we are pretty bearish on the day. But the more notable thing that I was looking at was these data highs. We had these data highs pretty much the whole time today. So I was looking at, can we go and target this? But obviously right away at open, I was bearish. Mainly because we have this 15-minute fair value gap that is untapped at open. And then we have this other 15-minute fair value gap here that bodies were respecting consequent encroachment. Now, another thing that I was looking at was, what did we already take? Right, we already have these lows here that we took. But I looked at this more of like a break structure because I wanted to see continuation. If this was a sweep, I wanted to see like a rejection off of this 15-minute candle, if that's all that we wanted. But because we had a strong close, I was still pretty bearish on the day until proven wrong, right? Or until we get our objective. Now, how do we determine what our objective is? So going and looking further to the left, we look at more swing lows and more liquidity that we have, right? So we have, I had this marked with the previous London low of, when was that, Wednesday? And then we also have this swing low as well that I counted. And that would be, I guess I'll name that easy low just for ease of, looks. Other than that, there was pretty much nothing else that I was looking at for sell side. And I just wanted to see, are we going to continue? Because at market open, we are already like 100 points away. Are we going to continue or are we going to reverse? So I was heavily bearish in the morning until I was proven wrong. So I guess we'll check out the higher time frame so you can give a little bit more narrative. We have this inversion that happened. There was a really nice move that happened here. But we have this 4-hour inversion. We come back up for some reason. And then now we go back again. And then this is the breakage structure I was looking at. So this was the close that we got. It was pretty strong in the breakage structure, but we were still respecting this fair value gap. So this was the last point of interest that I had. And I wanted a strong close. But the 4-hour did not close strong on this. At the 10 o'clock candle, we were like somewhere up here. So that's why I closed above consequent encroachment. So that's, obviously I didn't know that at the time. I was still looking for bearishness. I wanted to see speed past this gap. But obviously in hindsight, we're pretty bullish from this. So going back to the 15-minute time frame. Let's get rid of all these. Let's also look at ES as well. I'm not sure why ES looks like that. So now if we look at the 15-minute time frame on ES, at market open, we have this 15-minute gap, same as NQ, right? This smaller gap down here. I'm going to take away this 4-hour. I'm going to keep this 15-minute. But this 15-minute gap here is the one I had drawn on ES. Mainly because look at the way that we wick consequent encroachment and bodies are like below 0.25 of this level, right? That is very bearish. NQ, we didn't really move like that, but ES did. Now, what did it accomplish with this move? Well, obviously, we swept the previous day lows, right? So we had this SMT with ES. I wanted to see, are we going to continue or are we going to reverse off of this sweep? And the main mindset I had was, is this candle going to close below this previous day low or is it going to reject? And as you can see, we reject off of it. So what the heck? Um, Going to the 1 minute time frame, what I was looking at on NQ was if we were going to be short, we had this choppy price action, and I was actually pretty, um, like, I'm very happy with myself on how I was reading the day. So the first 15 minute, we wick this 15-minute fair value gap, and then we close lower. And because of that, I was looking, okay, this right here, we can count that as a internal liquidity sweep. Now, all we need is an inversion, and then we can head lower. So we have this 1 minute bullish fair value gap that we were respecting heavily. Now, we never closed below it. We did not close below this gap. So I was being very cautious. If I were to take something, I would want speed, and I would want a strong, I would count this as a breakage structure. Right? I would want a strong breakage structure with the candle going lower, a strong close below it, break even at this candle, and then we can target the lows. But because ES already took the lows at this point, it's 10 o'clock on that candle. Let's check ES. ES took it when the same exact time as we took the swing low. So if we reject off of this, right, like I was looking for the breakage structure, because we didn't close below it, I'm looking at this as a liquidity sweep. Now you may be thinking, okay, we have sweeps on both sides. This is kind of shitty price action, which I guess you're right. How I was looking at it was, I'm just going to wait. This no longer matters to me, this sweep. Because we didn't get the breakage structure, this up here does not matter to me. I think this was just fuel to get the SMT with ES. So right now we have the huge, we have this SMT, and then we have the previous day low SMT with ES. So a huge SMT. Now I was thinking, are we going to respect it or disrespect it? So we're trading up. At this moment, there's no ideas for me to trade. So we have this volatile candle. So this makes me think, okay, there are two things. If we go back to around here, there are two ways you can look at this. You can look at this as a sweep if we continue lower. If we continue rejecting off the 15-minute consequent encroachment of this fair value gap, and then we have this inversion, I would be comfortable taking it with this change in state and break a structure. But we need proof that it's going to go that way. That's just ideas, right? Those are just ideas going through my mind. If we close strong above this, which we do, I'm counting that as a break of structure. So we now have a pretty decent breakage structure. So we have this sweep down here, SMT with ES, a bigger one than this. I'm just going to use this as an example. And then a breakage structure higher. So now I'm looking at how are we going to respect this 15-minute fair value gap? And are we going to respect this fair value gap? Some people may take this trade. Because we're inside a 15-minute fair value gap, I was hesitant. I'm not going to take this trade. The tap of this fair value gap, I'm not going to take it. And this is when the first move of the day happened. I did not take this move, but looking back on it, it was really, really great. So we come lower. If you take this inversion, the reason that you're wrong is because we still don't have a strong change in state or a breakage structure. We don't have a change in market structure at this point. And if you take this first one, there is the second one down here that we still don't close, and the main strong one that I was looking at. I was building a idea of, okay, we swept these highs and we're respecting the 15-minute fair value gap. What am I looking for to take an entry? It was this fair value gap here. This fair value gap here, if it gets inverse, that's when I'm taking the trade, mainly because we have this 1 minute change in state right here. And then we also have the 1 minute, we can count this as a break of structure if we get closure below here. And that would have been my idea. But as you can see, we reject off of it. Why? Two reasons. We respect this bullish gap and we're done with bearish structure. We already got our targets. So if you're looking for shorts at this point, I think you would need to be more cautious. You got to see double the confirmation. This first inversion isn't going to be much. Now, another confluence. This is why the trade long was so great. If you put your fib on the low to the high of the range, OTE lines up with this fair value gap. And I'm pretty sure in ICT's 2024 mentorship, or the 2025 one, he mentions that a fair value gap laying over top of a quadrant level is one that is going to be respected a lot more. So if you put your fib on the low to the high, this fair value gap lays in OTE. Now, this trade was great. I didn't take it, unfortunately. I was, like, this is my mistake. I was busy on M and Q building my bias to see if this is going to get, to have an inversion lower. But then it flipped. And then I was looking, but I drew the fair value gap like this. And at this point, I was like, okay, we're going to have to close up here. It's going to be too late, right? We also close at consequent encroachment of this bearish gap. We need a closer higher. What I got to do, and my mistake was, I got to draw my fair value gaps like this. Mixing the two gaps together, I think that makes it a lot more clear to me. Because this close right here was great. You can long this with your stops at this breakaway gap. We have an expansion candle mixed with the fair value gap. So if we have an expansion candle after the second candle, I want to see it act as a breakaway gap. So my stops would be below, and then my break even would be this swing high. And then you can target data highs. I think this trade is super A+. Super A+, and I didn't take it, and I'm going to note it down. And I'm very unhappy that I didn't take it, but I'm okay with it in the end. I'm going to try to speed this up. I mean, because I don't want to make this video too long. But as you can see, break even here. And if you enter at this fair value gap here, you never get hit break even. Never. And we just grind up. We don't hit this data wick, which is unfortunate. And this was when I was waiting. At this point, I'll show you the exact candle that I said something in a Discord DM with my friend. This candle here, I was looking and seeing what could possibly happen, right? Now, we are in bullish market structure. We have this another breakish structure higher. We're respecting bullish and disrespecting bearish, right? 15-minute time frame. What was I looking at? We go up and we fail to take this data high. Is it likely that we reject off of this, or are we going to take this data high? Most of the times, I believe that we're going to take this data high. So what I was looking for at this point, right, while this candle was forming, I was looking at two things. Mainly this fair value gap. I was thinking, okay, the best type of action we can have. We left these relative equal highs. Can we close this 15-minute fair value gap while still leaving this gap and then tap off of it and continue? I also was thinking, okay, we have this gap lower that also can be an option. Now, if I want to pull up my Discord, and this is my Discord server. I had a private DM with one of my friends, and this is what I said. 1050 macro, 15-minute fair value gap respect, then inversion to data high. That was at 10:44. This was the image I sent him. It's hard to see, but I drew, at this 15-minute closure, I drew arrows to this 15-minute gap. I want to see higher off of that. Now, what ended up happening wasn't exactly the same, but it was exactly what I wanted. On the 1 minute time frame, on the 1 minute time frame, this is the second fair value gap. So I was getting ready and looking for a long off the bounce of this fair value gap. There is a 2 minute up here that I was looking that if we have the inversion off of this tap, I can do a small little 1-to-1 with data highs. Just a really tiny little like trade. That was if we respect this gap. And at first it was looking decent. We're tapping. And then we go lower. I was like, okay, that's fine. This gap, I looked. If we put our fib on the range, consequent encroachment of this gap is right over top of 50% of the range from 930 low all the way to the swing high. This was absolutely beautiful at this point right here. I texted my friend. I said, let me find it. So the first 15-minute fair value gap failed, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go hit the other one. We're at OT of the range right now, and I said if we blow past this 15-minute fair value gap, then I'm no longer looking for the trade. I want to see us respect it. One more candle. We wick, and I was waiting for this inversion right here. I wanted to see this as an inversion fair value gap to then long something like this to this high and then the data highs. As we can see what happens. Look at this close. This close stopped me from taking the trade. Now, maybe that's a mistake. That's something I need to journal, but I normally like strong closures. If the candle closed above this inversion cleanly, I would have taken it no problem with stops below the wick of the gap, or below the wick. Any day of the week. Because we didn't close above, I was hesitant, and the next candle blows past. Blows past. I ended up taking another entry up here. I waited for the 2-minute close, so I didn't take it here. Didn't take it here. Entered here with my stops below. Break even at this swing high. Ended up getting hit break even. And then we didn't take out data highs, which was my full target. And then I just got hit out break even for like $10. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm so tilted on the day. Like I called out perfectly what I wanted to happen 10 minutes before it happened. 10:40 was when I was like, I want to see the respect of this fair value gap. And then we're going to trade higher off the inversion. I called the exact trade. And it's so unfortunate that I didn't get the entry. But there's nothing I can do except for learn and journal. So yeah, I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. Pretty unfortunate. If you guys did take this trade or any trade today, let me know why and what you're looking at. You guys can also join my free Discord. If you guys want, whoever's in my Discord now, or if you do want to join the Discord, let me know if you guys want me to write my opinions to you guys, like I did today to my friend. I just wrote like what would happen. Normally I don't like doing that because I want other people to build their own type of edge on the market. And that's why I don't like to copy trade other people. I don't like to look at other people's trades. I like to develop my own type of style. So, like, I do take other people's things and merge them into mine and try to use all types of things. But I would never, like, if someone sends a signal, I'm never going to take the trade. I'm going to always take my own type of trade. So I advise every single one of you guys to do the same. But if you guys do want me to type my opinions to you guys in the Discord server, feel free to ask me. I'll definitely be open to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the trade recap. The rest of the day, we just chopped around until later. We hit the data highs, and we're just kind of sideways consolidation, which I'm thinking will stay this way until later. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or any feedback, make sure you leave a comment. Yeah, have a good rest of your day, lads.